Well, all right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. It is your buddy CJ here, and tonight we're talking about all things automotive industry, the car guy hobby, cars, all the things that those real gearheads love talking about. This is the place to be for that real gearhead talk. Welcome back to all of my subscribers. You know, your buddy CJ appreciates and loves each and every one of you. If you're new around here, guys, we talk about cars. We talk about the automotive industry. We talk about car meets and car events and motorsports and classic cars and supercars and sports cars. We talk about it all. Come on. And we have a lot of fun doing it. And tonight, you know, guys, it's one of my most favorite segments that we've been doing here on the Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. And I haven't done it in a while. Okay. And I want to do it again, and I want to start doing more of it. This is where I review and look at your cars, subscriber cars, my followers' cars. One of the great joys of this podcast is meeting and interacting with you folks on Instagram, on YouTube, you know, even TikTok, Facebook, the comments, you guys reaching out to me. You know, we instant message, we talk about cars. You guys ask me questions. I tell you what I think. I ask you questions. We have a lot of fun. The comments, the instant message, sliding into my DMs. Come on, guys, we having fun. But in all seriousness, I've done it a bunch of times in the past, and I want to continue to do it. So my ask of you is, if you want to have me review your car and check it out virtually, send me a DM. Send me some information about your car. Let's talk. And I'd love to do just a quick few minutes review of your car, tell you what I think about it. And it's part of my way of just expressing my gratitude for you folks and giving you a shout out and enjoying your car as part of our collective automotive enthusiast hobby here. So let's get right into it. Tonight, my buddy Spencer Isaac reached out to me on Instagram, and we got to talking, and the guy just got a C6 Corvette, 2011 Stingray Coupe, okay? And it's a sharp car. And he told me about it, and I congratulated him, and I was super excited for him for a few reasons that I'm going to get into right now. And Spencer, let's take a look at your Corvette. And folks, leave me comments. Let me know what you think about our buddy Spencer's Corvette as we look at it together. So, guys, just a couple of things by way of level setting here. Spencer Isaac's 2011 Chevy Corvette. Manual transmission. This is a Corvette Stingray Coupe. Okay? This has the 6.2 liter LS3 out of the factory. They're about 430 horsepower or so and about the same level of torque. Okay, these are naturally aspirated. What do I like about the C6? A couple things. This is the last of the curvy, wavy silhouette Corvettes for me. Like, this car has direct lineage to the C5, obviously C4, C3, where we had what I would consider to be a true Stingray silhouette, smooth and curvy. Look at the taillights. Okay, they're not round, they're kind of oval, but it's a direct throwback. You will never mistake that C6 rear end for any other car other than a Corvette. It doesn't look like a Camaro. It doesn't look like anything else. It looks like a Corvette, the way it should be, with rounded taillights. One of the really cool styling cues of the C6, coupled with that curvy silhouette that I just think screams classic Stingray. Love it. Absolutely love it. You know, the headlights on the C6 are the one thing that I claim, I don't want to say they're starting to look dated, but they're definitely indicative of that era. They're extremely unique and distinctive for the C6, but, I personally say I don't love them, what I might consider is the C7 style headlights that you can get as inserts for the C6s. But either way, listen, it's not a bad look. I just say it's extremely indicative of that era. And now today, for some folks, might be starting to look a little dated, but, to each his own, right? Love the taillights, love the silhouette of this car, love the styling. It's all Corvette. That big long hood, that V8 out front, that LS3. Okay. The other thing, too, and my buddy Spencer has the 6-speed manual transmission, 3 pedals. If you are a sports car purist, okay, the C6 Corvette, and I've said this on other episodes, is probably the car for you. Okay? Like, you know, you could look at a C7, you could look at a C8. That's not really a pure classic sports car. You know, when you get into a C8 with that dual clutch transmission mid-engine, yeah, it starts to evolve the Corvette into something else. And I really love the C8s. I like the C7s too. But the C6 was the bridge. The C6 was the bridge to the legacy of the Corvette. The C7 began the new edge high-tech era for me. When I first saw the C7, my reaction was, oh boy, that's the Corvette. What's up with those taillights? Like the C7 Corvette didn't do it for me at first. Now, I've owned a C7 Corvette. I really like C7 Corvettes. But from a classic styling and just, Corvette, sports car, C6 got the lineage, man. And now what I want to tell you, a couple things just by way of mods and updates. Our buddy Spencer bought this car with long tube headers. That's a nice upgrade if it's done right. You know, the classic issue with headers is, they can leak, okay? And if they're not done right, then if you got long tubes, do you have the ground clearance? Now, I'm sure this is done right, and they're probably the right long tube headers, and they're probably put in right. But I'll say to my buddy Spencer, check it out. Make sure everything's tight. She's not leaking. You've probably already done that because you're a smart guy and you're a car guy. Long tubes going to give you that performance boost in addition to the sound and get you, better exhaust flow and all those things as opposed to the shorties, the short headers. I don't even know if short headers would make sense. I've never really modded a C6. Some of you guys leave me comments. The difference between short tubes and long tubes on something like a C6. Is that even a thing? I know the long tube is traditionally more of the higher end upgrade. Usually when you talk to guys who are upgrading their car, when they're going to do it right, they go with the long tubes. That's my experience. Guys, leave me comments. I don't claim to be an expert on all things all the time. I know enough though, right? To be dangerous. But Spencer, let's get back to it with this really cool 2011 C6 Corvette. He's got VR intake manifolds, short throw shifter, okay, which will give you that much better engagement from a shifting standpoint, short throws, okay, which means he can get on it and get after it and roll through them gears faster, potentially, for his spirited high performance driving. I'm sure this car, listen, what do I think? This car is probably a blast to drive. I see some other mods here from an appearance standpoint. I'm pretty sure those are aftermarket wheels. They might be powder coated, but I'm pretty sure they're aftermarket. I believe this wing was an aftermarket add-on. The white and the black can be a really good thing. If you go for the high contrast look without going overboard, in my opinion, and I think this car is where it needs to be. I wouldn't go nuts with like black mirrors and then blacking out the license plate. I see guys do some of those things. The black and white contrast is really good, Spencer, and I like it on your car. I would tend to say, like, just my humble opinion, don't go further with it. I think it's a good, crisp, nice contrast look. You could do a lot of things now with the vinyl. You can have your mirrors vinyl wrapped and other things. Listen, I like the vibe you got going on here. The other thing I like about this, it hasn't been over modded. Guys, and let's take a look at another view of our buddy Spencer's car. Spencer, thank you for giving me the privilege and the opportunity to take a look at your car. I think it's a good one. Let's take a look at it from the front, shall we? Spencer's 2011 C6 Corvette Stingray Coupe with that LS3, manual transmission, 6-speed. Listen, this is about as much fun as any human being should have in a sports car, right? And looking at this now, I think he may have updated those headlights. Am I wrong? Spencer, leave me comments. Let me know. From this photo, it looks like there's either a slight tint over those headlights, perhaps, or have they already been upgraded, Spencer? It's a good look from the front. Looks like he's got a chin spoiler or splitter that might be aftermarket. The car looks great. It's clean look. It's a crisp look. I say keep it that way. I am not a fan of decals and the Jake logo and the Corvette logo plastered all over and like, no. Keep it clean and crisp. This is a classic look. She's clean. Save the C6s. The C6s, Spencer, and folks out there are being snapped up and bought, and to each his own, do what you want. But I think folks are going overboard with the mods. They're putting superchargers on them. They're putting heads on them. They're replacing all the internals, and then they're blowing them up. And I hate to say that. And listen, it's part of the hobby, right? Is modding cars. I used to do a lot more of that stuff now. Now I keep most of my stuff stock. That's just how I enjoy my hobby. But these C6s, there are a lot of them. Okay, that's the wonderful thing. And there's a lot of parts out there available in mods. But I say, listen, keep it moderate, keep it middle of the road, something that you can enjoy and cruise and go on a road trip in. If you push this car to the limit with internals and with, heads and a big lopey cam and all these things, yes, it enhances performance. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it also, in my mind, reduces the drivability, the ability to enjoy the best of the Corvette. The Corvette is a fantastic driver car. You can actually get in it and put miles on it. You can go for miles in this car, Spencer. You could do road trips with a significant other to the beach or to the mountains or whatever you want, right? You can do rallies or whatever. There's plenty of room in that trunk, right, for whatever you might need to take for a weekend getaway. If you overbuilt this car, and I don't think you have with the mods that you have, or if she's too loud, where she got that droning exhaust, nobody wants that, like that deep droning exhaust, and where you're going deaf after an hour and a half. Keep it something that you don't got to worry about her getting hot or having a fuel leak or breaking down or all these other things. Moderate upgrades I'm a fan of, but I say a car like this is all the fun you can have. 400 or 500 horsepower. Are you kidding me? With that sweet LS3 exhaust note. And I claim the C6 Corvette, the last bridge, if you will, the connection to the legacy of the C3, the C4, and the C5. Once you get to C7, they're still incredible cars. I've had one. I've driven many. But now you're into that modern high-tech look. And it's not rounded. It's all edgy. It looks like you can get cut on it. The taillight's got a different vibe, everything, right? C8 is a completely different animal. They are fantastic cars also. But the C6 has an element of classic Corvette, still in the modern era. Tons of parts available. Okay. Can be worked on by many different shops. You could potentially do some work on it yourself. The sky's the limit if you want to really do some creative and super deep advanced updates to it. It's all out there. Mods, bolt-ons, all those things. You can do it, but your buddy CJ, please, Spencer, save the C6s. We want to save this beautiful example of a 2011 Corvette C6. Let's not overbuild her. Let's keep her as something that's going to be on the road for years. That's my point of view. Guys, wanted to come on here, congratulate my buddy Spencer on what looks like an incredible 2011 C6 Corvette, the kind of car you want to get in and drive. When I see this car, I want to get in and drive it, right? And have fun with it and row it through the gears and just enjoy and then downshift and give it hell, man. And this is as much fun as you can have on a weekend for a road trip, mountain trip, C6 Corvette with a manual transmission. Man, enjoy that car, Spencer. I'm so happy for you. Guys, I wanted to come on here tonight and just once again express my gratitude for all my subscribers and followers, including my buddy Spencer. I enjoy talking to you guys, getting to know you, meeting you, seeing you at events. I'd love to review your car, take a look at it, let you know independently, objectively what I think, and give you a shout out and congratulate you. we're just gearheads, right? What do gearheads do? What do car guys do? We talk about cars, people. We drive cars, we buy cars, we sell them, we mod them, wash, rinse, repeat. And that's what this channel is all about. Thank you so much, guys. Shout out to my buddy Spencer. And until I see you guys on the next one, peace.